Here we are. We're live. Perfect. We're live, everybody. What's going on? It's your boy King Gabe here. Kind of. It's a morning. It's a morning. Well, it's it is say another morning we woke up and saw it. So, not quite sunshiny, but I mean, at least we're all alive and everything, and glory be to God. Okay, I got a second there. I got one. Make sure that way. Uh, I'm working with. Sorry, had this in the beginning of the last stream. Somebody figures so I went forever. Asking me about this, this, and if I will let you know. Okay. Yes, wanna. So this the last time I got a message. It was something. Well, I think I'm not sure. Prob it does say, but a lot of time when I post in like the author groups and stuff about me doing this, like I say, I still continue to do this, but yeah, some point, yeah, we need to not get these like, hey, I could do this for your book. If we need us as authors, if we want to get online help with, hey, trust me, we have no problem. We would have no problem finding you guys. 'Cause there's several of you out there. But like I say, if we're not, if we're just posting about, like, hey, this is my book and everything, especially like you about to talk about on YouTube and stuff. Yeah, that's not an invitation to go in the comment section and be like, hey, I can tell you this and this and this. Let the let the person come to you. Just like how people come to me to get the books as well as other things. Okay, but yeah, now but yeah, they also have this with YouTube. Like if you wanted to increase your monetization stuff. I mean, not increase monetization, but like your views and stuff like that. Which, like I say, I'm like this. That's pretty. And it's like, again, if I need that additional help, I will come to. And there's several of these of YouTube increasers and stuff. So. Whew, it can get a little annoying there. But anyway, back to the beautiful morning and about to go into right on target. I guess skip. I guess anybody watching the replay. Well, anyway, don't. Yeah, like I say, but anyway, about to go on into this here. And make sure I'll mention it again at the end of the stream. But yeah, make sure y'all definitely like, share, subscribe. Get our other available books, and also support us on that Patreon, just like Iceman Universe, our Patreon there. And be sure to support him as well. He's got a lot of good reactions and everything. And also the Miracle Crew. Fix This Casey, Queen Tina, and of course EJ the Supreme. Yep, all of us that are working together, and just like you hang out with us in these live streams and such, also hang out on Discord and Facebook, and sell each other some stuff on that McCary app. And without further ado, let's get into right on target. Get a little bots off for crying out loud. Mm. Mm. And now they're saying, now they're telling me that some of the what is it that's what is it now telling me that some of the subscribers are bots there. I mean there are bots out there. I mean even if there are, I mean people got to be operating these bots, I would assume. But I do know that there are actual people up there. I've talked with some of the subscribers. Lot they say even whether they're here in the stream or not. And then like people I know are definitely subscribed to it because like I say I talk with people people on my job and even that I pass by and people I know. Yeah, so like I say, dude, please stop. Stop. Say the CEO whatever thing here. I'm like, come on, man. I'll say, all right. So on target here. Okay. And of course, oh yeah, read the little summary here. Samuel's solo kid superhero career as Star Striker is great, but it's hard to keep a secret, especially from his best friend Brian. However, when Brian is captured by a kid criminal trio, there's more on the line than Brian's safety. Don't worry, I'm not sleepy or anything. I know I know. I will admit I did have a moment of that, but I kind of sprung up a bit. As I say, glory to God, I was able to spring up a bit, and so I could talk right and get through the first book because I really wanted to do that. But I do remember there was a case few streams back. I think when we was doing the Power Rangers thing where I was kind of in and out there, but I was still talking, and then it's like, Gabe, what are you saying? So yeah, I just accidentally said the wrong thing by mistake, but I'm not sleepy over here. I can guarantee you that. As Fred Sanford says, oh no, I'm right awake. Oh, look at that chair. Ain't it comfortable? It's comfortable. I'm wide awake though. Lord have mercy. So, all right. So, however, when Brian's captured by a kid criminal trio, there's more on the line than Brian's safety. Find out what happens in this volume of the Heroes of Dream book series, and after you do, continue to follow the adventure in Volume 3, Mind of the Swords of Honor. All right. Yeah, that's gonna be the third book. Yeah. Little spoiler alert on that. And of course, now these might be some clearer pictures. Proofed and edited. Here's I think that kind of shows up a little bit there. No, not completely sure. Maybe it might be. Maybe I might have to look at maybe to you guys you might see it clearly there, or at least can make it out. My mom up there, Diane Douglas Taylor, Christina Lee Johnson, aka Queen Tina, down there. And of course, it's a inspiration and artwork by, of course, you know who. So, Yeah. They and hold on, let me clear this up. People I'm working with, there. About this. Okay, there we go. So, now you gotta put your foot down there. Feel like it'd be hard for people to take a hint sometime there. The thing. And I post around about what I'm about my books and stuff like that. Um, that again, if I'm gonna get advertisement or something like that, I will do that. Yeah, that's yeah. Like I say, because anybody, and if I people online like, hey, we do this and we do that. Yeah, post on your page and in the group because they got YouTube groups and also in the author groups. For other authors to see what you do and like, okay, yeah, I want him. Yeah, yeah, okay, hey, can you help me out there? Do that and let the people come to you. So, but when we like myself and others post like that, yeah, we're posting for people in the comment section to come like, hey, I want a copy of your book. How do I get that? Get that, or maybe asking questions about what the book is about, or even like I say, want to check out the YouTube channel if we got one. So that's whew, yeah. It's almost like it's almost like if you go into it's like you go to someone's YouTube page, um, say a person that's making cat videos, for example, and they got cat video, and you start and you try to ask them about McDonald's or something, or better yet, a cat video, and you try to ask them about cows. That got nothing to do with what they're talking about there, unless maybe the video is talking about cats and cows there. So, yeah. All right, chapter one: new features of the Starman battle suit. Thanks to Samuel and the back-to-back agency, the Starman battlesuit now has many new features. These features will be very useful in battle, and also be able to better conceal Samuel's secret identity as Star Striker. First was the appearance of the suit. As before, the suit still maintained its white and light gray shirt, black pants with silver stripes, silver boots, and a mask, and black gloves. However, also the star pack it once had was now replaced with a cape, and all the gadgets were divided into his gloves. The pockets of his pants, now known as utility pants with multiple pockets. And one thing that's a bit of a plot hole in that, not saying that Samuel's not a smart kid and everything. His friend, and I know his friend Brian's supposed to be like the big, like the tech nerd and everything. So I'm not saying that Samuel might not be capable of that as well, because I mean, you take like Static Shock, him and Richie, they worked together on a lot of different stuff together, even before Richie became Gear, um, And Static, he knew he knew some tech stuff too, but Richie kind of had a lot more grounded in the tech department there. Um, oh my goodness, that's even more annoying when something buzzes in your ear. so so he had more in the tech department. So so yeah, it's kind of a plot hole here. Even if Samuel was kind of tech savvy, like Tony Stark, there, Iron Man, doing a lot of this, building a lot of the stuff he had, still didn't explain exactly how Star, in a few minutes in the last book, quickly turned the pack into a place with a cape, and then spread out the other gadgets and stuff into the gloves, and also made the pants into utility pants there. So yeah, that I mean, I guess you could say maybe he got into the computer system or something, and nobody knew because everybody was out facing the Snake Woman last time. But yeah, it's kind of it's kind of left up to speculations, or like how we had to, a lot of us Power Ranger fans had to speculate how they went from Zeo to Turbo. There, nothing wrong with Turbo. I like the series, but yeah, looking back on it, and hearing Linkar's History of Power Rangers video, he's not quite as fond of Turbo like myself, but he made some good points about some of the flaws and how Zeo went to Turbo, and they didn't really explain why that was, considering what the Zeo powers were like and everything. So yeah, definitely, yeah, check that out, Power Ranger fans. Y'all definitely check out those videos, because yeah, there's a lot of stuff Linkara explains about that there. Um, anyway, back with this. The gadgets and weapons were the smokescreen bombs, rope launcher, rope and net launcher, laser blaster, star spinners, and star rings, just like before. The division of these gadgets and weapons were as follows: the smokescreen bombs, star spinners, and star rings were inside the utility pockets, of course, and and the laser blaster, now known as the Star Laser, and the rope and net launcher were located in the gloves, known as the Star Gloves, and there was also a communicator inside the Star Gloves, quite a bit, and the another gadget that had been relocated to the boots was known as the Star Boots. Known as the Star Boots was the jetpack. When they were moved to the Star Boots, they got changed into rocket boosters, which allowed superior flight. There were also rollerblade wheels in the Star Boots, as well as the rocket boosters could be very well used to increase the speed in them. The mask still had its special hidden camera, which would inform Star Striker which weapon and gadget on his suit to use simply by scanning his mind and their surroundings during a crisis. a little, a little message from Instagram. Say from Janara there. Say, oops, hey, no copyright. Hey, don't give me. I was just trying to read the message there. I didn't say for you to play the video. Okay, I'll have to check that out later. Matter of fact, I better turn the sound down just to be on the safe side here. Like they say, silence your cell phones in the movie theater. Okay. The mask still had a special hidden camera, which will inform Star Trek on what gadget and his weapon and gadget to use in his suit simply by scanning his mind and their surroundings during a crisis. Sort of like what Richie had in his helmet there when he was gear. Okay. Also, the suit, the cape, and the mask were extremely resistant to the most destructive forces. Okay. The cape and the mask. Okay, as well as the suit. Sort of like Robin's cape. When he described it in an episode of Teen Titans when Starfire's sister came to visit. Finally, there were two other features called the Star Transformation and the Star D Transformation. In order to activate one of the special features, a special watch called the Star Watch was needed. Star Watch looked like an ordinary watch, and whenever Star was in his regular clothes, as Samuel Princeton but when he was in his battle suit, it would become his star belt. It's almost like Power Ranger logic. Also, the star belt watch slash belt was voice activated by Samuel, aka Star's voice only. First of all, in activating the star transformation, Samuel was speaking to the Star Watch saying "Star transformation activate." Then it would open up, revealing a star-shaped button. Once Samuel pressed the button, he would instantly be transported to the secret Starman transformation chamber in the BTB agency's headquarters. Then a star would appear in the background, the behind Samuel, and he would position his body and be aligned with the star. After the star would materialize into the battle suit on Samuel piece by piece, along with Star Watch, say, would becoming the belt as well. Finally, when the transformation was completed, he would be teleported back to the spot where he left before and appear as Star Striker. As for the star deactivation, it would be the same process like the star activation, but in reverse. And here's some pictures here. Yeah, should be able to. Some of them I don't know if some of them might not show up too well because of the coloring that was using, gray and black there, and a lot of them kind of had a light gray going on there. But yeah, about the best you could probably see. Of course, that's the Star Watch over there. And of course, we got another couple other pictures on here. Now, of course, I know you could probably somewhat make these out a little bit better. Samuel transforming into Star Striker, sort of similar to something similar to what was shown when Christina was reading her Bubblina books of Bubblina's transformation a little bit there. One thing animes love their transformation there. And we're about to go into the second chapter. There's a little picture there. Star blasting a vehicle of some other crooks that are trying to get away. They stole some stuff. The Star is stopping them. And the way he's positioned in blasting the tires, it's sort of what I had in mind when I drew that was actually Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story 2. At the very beginning, the intro scene, and then revealed they were playing a video game there. But when he did that laser thing, and I'm not sure what he fired it at, but yeah, that was the pose. That was it. But his was from like the camera was facing the front of him there. In this case, it's the side of Star Striker. Yeah. All right. So, Chapter 2. Matthew Merrick Highway Battle and Rescue. Down the Matthew Merrick Highway, in the middle of the night, a high-speed chase was in progress. The police were after 3 crooks driving in a stolen, RAV4 vehicle. They stopped the vehicle immediately, or we will open fire, said one of the officers on the bullhorn. Then oil was fired from the back of the van into the ground and onto the windows of the police car, causing the policemen to crash into one another in a way that made it impossible for the policemen to get out the cars using the doors. The crooks laughed in triumph, thinking they were in the clear until Star Striker showed up from the sky in front of them and fired his star lasers at the tires of the van, blasting them to dust. The crooks lost control of the van, so Star quickly flew behind them and fired 2 ropes. One rope was fired to the bumper of the van and the other to a nearby street light pole. Then Star pulled as hard as he could to tie the ropes around each other. and stopped the van from moving. Then Star went over to the police cars and blasted the roofs off the cars. And in order to get each police officer out one by one, after he got the last officer out, the first crook came and blasted Star with a laser blaster toward the streetlight pole that he had tied. Toward the pole he had tied the rope around. Next, he gave orders to the other two crooks. He gave the other two crooks laser blasters and said to them, "Get him!" The other crooks ran toward Star, but Star secretly and quickly ejected two smoke bombs out of his utility pants and flicked them both at the charging crooks. The smoke bombs knocked the crooks on the heads, hit the ground, releasing a smoke screen. "I can't see," complained the second crook. "Where'd he go?" asked the third crook. "That little brat." Then the smoke cleared, and the crooks looked around for Star, and suddenly he came flying at both of them with a double high jump kick. Super effective. And he slammed their heads together with a boink, knocking them out cold. Two down and one to go, Star said, looking over at the first crook. "That's what you think," said the crook with an evil grin as a helicopter arrived throwing down a ladder. Then he got into the ladder and quickly fired his laser blast at the same street light pole, caused to get the break, and start crawling toward the police and said, "It's either me or the police. Your choice, little super brat." The crook laughed hysterically as he continued climbing the ladder, and the helicopter flying off. Star quickly flew up behind the pole and fired a rope from one of his Star gloves to catch it. And once he pulled it back up, he used the other Star glove to fire a repair laser and seal the pole back in place. The officer cheered as he landed. "Yay! He saved us!" Chapter 3. I want to tell someone. Oh, almost like the guy in the episode Jellyfish Hunter of SpongeBob when he had the Krabby Patty with jellyfish jelly. Amazing. I got to tell someone. Hey, all you people. Hey, all you people. Hey, all you people, won't you listen to me? I just had a sandwich. No ordinary sandwich. A sandwich filled with jellyfish jelly. Hey, man, you got to try the sandwich. It's no ordinary sandwich. It's the tastiest sandwich in the sea. Skibidi bee bada boo da bada boo da da doo. Yeah. Thank you. I'm here. I'm here till Tuesday. Try the veal. I'm here till Thursday. Try the veal. So yeah, kind of made me think of that reason. I want to tell someone now. All right. So let's see. Oh yeah. One Saturday morning, while Lee and his wife Lisa were in the living room looking over some business papers, Samuel came in to ask them something. Mom, Dad, he started. I've been at this crime fighting thing for a little while, and I was just thinking. No, interrupted Lee and Lisa. Lisa together. I didn't even finish, said Samuel. You don't. Hey, you don't have to, said Lee. Hey, you can't go telling everybody your secret as the Starman Project. It's Star Striker, said Samuel. And why not? Because it would be a major risk to them and to say it would be a major risk to you and to them. Oh wait, that's Lisa. Sorry. Because it would be a major risk to you and to them, said Lisa. That's the reason. That was the main reason why the inventors made it with an identity protector, said Lee. Lots of our agents have problems living normal lives outside the BTB agency because of our enemies. Well, can I at least tell my best friend outside of like my best friend at school? No, said Lisa. News like news like that to a kid your age would be very difficult to keep. Well, she kind of has. Yeah, she kind of has a point. I mean, like Buster when Arthur told him about Mister Rogers staying over at his house there. Yeah. Oh, you're right, Arthur. I cannot keep a secret. But what advice, started Samuel? This discussion, as of right now, is closed, said Lee. Then the doorbell rang. Samuel headed out in disappointment. I got it. Samuel went to the door and opened it. Once he saw it was Brian holding a basketball, he said, Hey, Brian, trying to sound happy even though he was disappointed. Ready to shoot some hoops out back? Asked Brian, spinning the ball on his finger. Yeah, sure, let's go. Oh, yeah, that's him trying to ask his parents about telling his friend Brian. It was like, nope. Yeah. And I'm out shooting some hoops there. This actually, and obviously when I wrote this, this version of Star Striker, and the one from the Star Striker 2017 comic series were, in my likeness. Now the one in this Yumiko novel series, this is off of EJ's likeness, but back then, yeah, it was off of my likeness. And back then, I had a friend of mine that I was hanging out with. It's been a while since we've chatted with each other there. I hadn't heard from her in a while, but friend of mine named Brandon Green that um, that sort of based his likeness on Brian in this version here. And there were times that me and Brandon actually played basketball together over at his place there. Yeah. Uh, yeah, that's kind of where that come from there. They went into the bas- I mean, that, they went into the basketball. Next, they'll fall into a pizza like I did in that short. Then they went into the backyard to play basketball. While they were playing basketball, Brian asked Samuel if he heard the newspaper report about Star Striker. Yeah, didn't you hear how Star Striker stopped that high speed chase and saved those police officers? Oh yeah, of course, said Samuel. Maybe we could team up with him as superheroes of our own, continued Brian. I went through some of my parents' stuff in their lab and found some more gadgets. Now all we need is some good costumes and names. Really? Asked Samuel. Yeah, we could be like a trio, the Star Force trio. Yeah, about that. As Brian ranted on, Samuel thought what his mom and dad had said earlier. Then he said, Brian, there's something I gotta tell you. What's that? Well, the truth is, Lee showed up interrupting Samuel. Samuel, right? Dang it, said Samuel to himself. And, yes, Dad? Sorry to interrupt your game, but there's some important business we have to attend to. Come on. Samuel sighed as Lee walked off and said to Brian, Sorry, I have to go. Oh, it's okay. We'll finish later, man, said Brian. They high fived each other as Samuel left. And now, chapter 4, The Pig and the Rat. You can see there's a pretty good picture of them. Yeah, he's about a couple of enemies he's about to face off against. Yep, there. So, like, remember last time we had the snake mutant, and now we got a pig and, actually, technically a warthog and a rat mutant there. All right. The birth, a burger point. Sorry, excuse me. Yarn kind of messed up my speech. Oh, get a little sip, sip. All right. Burger Point on Jordan River Road was under attack by two 8-year-old kids. However, like the Crab Man and the Snake Woman, Sia from a few weeks ago, they were also infused with scientific parts from another animal. First kid, who called himself Pumo, was really chubby yet tall for his age. He had the snout, tusks, ears, and claws, and the tail of a warthog, and he dressed up like a sumo wrestler. The second kid, who called himself Racker, was skinny and yet short for his age. He had the nose, whiskers, and fangs and claws and tail of a rat, and was dressed up like a street fighter. The, the kids completely terrorized the burger port, causing everyone inside to run in panic. Lee and Samuel were getting closer to the area in the BTB agency stealth car. Better get in gear, son, said Lee. Right. As the car came to a stop, Samuel stepped out. They, of course, stopped. I guess we assume nobody's around in this particular area, and said into his Star Watch, "Star transformation activate." Then, once the watch opened up, he pressed the star button to go through the star transformation. It became Star Striker and flew the rest of the way to the burger port. Once Star arrived, he went inside the burger port, saw Pumo and Raka stuffing their faces with burgers and French fries. He quickly fired a rope from each of his star gloves at them. He pulled Racker out easily with no problem, slamming him to the floor next to him, saying, "Now that I've ratted out the rat, time to end the pig out." However, even with both hands, he struggled to drag Pumo out. Eventually, Pumo bit the rope and swung Star into the kitchen, crashing him into the grill. With the grill still being on, it burnt Star's neck, making him jump up and hit his head on a nearby table, causing the burgers to fall on him. Hey, oh boy. Pumo laughed while breaking out of the rope, and he went over to the deep fry with the French fries and say, "Would you like some fries with those? Oh, would you?" Trying to say, I think let's see. "Would you like some fries with those burgers?" After that, Pumo took out a basket of fresh hot fries out of the frying grease and threw it at Star. Star quickly jumped up, avoiding the basket, and landed on Pumo's head, grabbing a milkshake on the table nearby, saying, "No thanks, Mr. Piggy. I'd rather shake it." Then Star splashed some of the milkshake into Pumo's eyes and jumped off as Pumo screamed, trying to find something to wipe his eyes with. Got milk. I'm gonna have your head for doing that," said Racker, still tied up and hopping towards Star with his fangs aimed for him. Then Star splashed the rest of the milkshake in Racker's face, jumped behind him, grabbed his tail, saying, "I don't think so, because I got your tail." Then Star swung Pumo and Racker into Pumo, who had just got the milkshake out of his eyes. The old boy slammed them into each other, sort of like this. The picture illustrating that. Oh. Had enough service, or do you want to come back again for more? Star said, mimicking a happy cashier. Oh boy. Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought this was EJ responding to something. It's somebody else there. They had Pumo got up, ripped the ropes off of Racker for him to get up, and looking closely at Star, then he said, "You must be that Star boy in the paper from last night. The name's Star Striker." says Star, and I strike like a star. Oh, he says it here. Okay. So he does say I strike like a star in this series too. Okay. Um, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Wait. Just trying to see. 'Cause I may have read it. I don't think I recalled him referring to himself as the Shreveport Defender. Of course, let me. Which I'll probably find. Well, as I read more of this series, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to confirm if he used the Shreveport Defender title in here. I know he used it in the 2017 comic I made, but yeah, like I said, it's been a while since I read this series here. Well, you're going to be well, you're going to be seeing stars when we're done with you," said Racker, finally getting the milkshake out of his eyes. "Then let's take this outside," said Star, flying out. "Fine. Then let's get rolling," said Pumo as he and Racker curled in the balls, rolling after Star, almost like Carmen, like that armadillo in Static Shock. "Get the ball rolling. Eventually, they ended up in a nearby alley, and the battle began with Star throwing a couple of his star spinners at Pumo and Racker. The explosion sent them flying into the sky, and when they came back down, they landed in some nearby garbage cans filled with trash. "No need to take out the garbage," said Star. "You two are on top of that." Oh boy. Puma, say, Puma. "Hey, the moon! It's time to commit some crime now! Puma, not in front of the kids. Oh, sorry." Pumo and Racker quickly jumped out and each picked up a garbage can. Pumo said, "Well, why don't we just put you on the bottom?" Then the two started throwing the full and empty garbage cans at Star. Star quickly blasted some of them and dodged the others. But eventually, one of the cans hit Star with a bang, causing him to hit the ground. Then Pumo quickly jumped up high and landed on the ground hard enough to cause it to start cracking, eventually creating a hole in the star, causing him to fall in. Pumo and Racker laughed in triumph over their victory until a rope came out of the hole and wrapped around Pumo's body and yanked him a bit as Star swung out of the hole, holding on to the other end of the rope. Once Star got close enough to Pumo, he gave him an uppercut like punch right on the nose. Pumo yelled in pain, walking back as Star landed. Then Pumo tripped on a crack, fell, and started rolling toward the ground right into Racker after he broke his mother's back. If they step on a crack, break your mother's back. Man, that superstition there. Well, time to says as he was about to fire a capture net, he noticed something strange about them. Pumo and Racker changed back into complete human form. "I didn't see that coming," said Star. Then he got on his communicator to contact Lee and said, "Commander, you've got to come see." But before Star could finish, he was blasted by a laser blaster which knocked him out cold. The laser came from a laser blaster wielded by an 8-year-old girl. This was the same girl who was watching Star's fight with Sia in the junkyard a few weeks ago. Her name was Flora. Oh, so this is the first time the character Flora was used in any of my stories there. But she's not the same Flora. She's not. Her name is Flora, but she's not like the fairy from Yumiko though. Yeah, she's not. Matter of fact, she's not. She's just a regular person at the moment there. But there was gonna be something planned with her back then though. Pumo and Racker's little foster sister. As she approached Star, a helicopter arrived with two men, and two men came down to assist Pumo and Racker onto the helicopter. "Would you like some assistance getting the other ones?" asked one of the men. Yes, but not yet, said Flora, taking out her mini scanner and holding it toward Star. I want to find out. I want to find out who's behind this cutie pie's mask. The scanner scanned Star all over his body, and it was about to reveal the answer until one of the men yelled, Flora, the agents are on the way. We must escape quickly. Darn it, said Flora. Then she went then she said to Star in a sweet voice, consider yourself lucky this time, Star Boo. Then she kissed Star's cheek and placed something in his hair, saying, well, almost. After that, Flora escaped into the helicopter. Wait till our boss finds out. As the helicopter flew off, Flora laughed in an evil way. You see the Star when he got blasted by Flora there. And so this is what Flora look. This is what this universe version of Flora looks like. You see her. She placed something in Starstriker's hair as she kissed him. There. I was just saying how I drew that there. Bring a little more water. Chapter 5, Analyzation. The helicopters arrived with Flora and the boys at their lake house by Cattle Lake. Everyone went inside their boss's computer room. The boys then started to wake up. Since they were in human form, they were now called by their real names, Gilbert and Zach. It's about time you goofballs woke up, said Flora. The boss wouldn't want you sleeping on the job. We were not, shouted Gilbert and Zach. Yeah, our orders were the beta test Mr. Westwood's new experiment, said Gilbert. Which was the serum for mutant animal transformation, said Zach, and it worked. And this picture of Flora with Gilbert and Zach in their human form right there. And I actually remember back in 2020, I read this. I was reading this on a live stream on my old channel from back then, and one of the people in the stream was like, that was kind of they said that this version of Flora reminded them of Angelica. Oh boy, Angelica from the Rugrats there. Oh, what an accomplishment, said Flora sarcastically. And your great beta test involved robbing a burger point for fast food when you could have robbed a bank or a jewelry store to actually get something valuable. So what's it to you, asked Zach. Besides, we were hungry, said Gilbert. Well, your stomachs caused you to lose Star Striker, said Flora. Remember, that is also part of our mission. Mr. Westwood wants that Starman battle suit. It wasn't our fault, said Zach. He got the jump on us by surprise. Yeah, next time we'll get him for sure, said Gilbert. Then his stomach growled. Right after I grab a bite to eat, then Gilbert walked off to the kitchen. Wait for me, said Zach, following him. Flora sighed and said, I guess it's up to me. Flora got on the main computer and brought up a map and started searching. Meanwhile, at the BTB agency headquarters in the control room, Lee and Star were discussing what happened with Gilbert and Zach after the battle. So you're saying they changed back to human form after the fight, said Lee. That's what I saw, said Star. Seems like a new type of experiment, said Lee. Anthony had only come close to perfecting his animal slicing once we fired him. What about Sia's transformation, asked Star. Professor Kurt's still looking into that, said Lee. But since you said they were kids like yourself, maybe this new splicing experiment has a different effect on the kids than it does adults. Then Professor Kurt entered and said, This is what I gathered. Everyone went into the lab where Sia was inside a tank, unconscious in human form. Wow, is that Sia? Asked Star. Her human form doesn't look too bad. Well, as you can see, stated Kurt, we've drained out the splicing serum from her bloodstream. Splicing serum? Said Lee. Yes, replied Kurt. Apparently, Anthony has improved since being fired in order to get back at us, but all his fundings were cut. After firing him 2 months ago, said Lee, there's no way he could have got enough money for that kind of serum. And even if he did, there's no lab in this area that could produce that. That then some then that means someone's helping him, said Star. Lee and Kurt thought for a minute as Lee said, You might be right. Kurt, what kind of data have you gathered on that serum? Well, started Kurt, it seems that whoever takes it not only changes into a half mutant animal, but in an adult like Sia, they can become the full form of that animal at will. And those kids, actually, seems the half animal effect is limited, said Kurt. However, I'm sure there's still some more information on that, even with what I gathered on the adults. Well, I guess that means I can go out and shoot some more hoops with Brian until something else comes up, said Star. Star detransformation activate. Then Star pressed the switch on his belt, went to the detransformation, and became Samuel. Samuel, you remember what I said this morning? Asked Lee, looking sternly at Samuel. Samuel thought for a moment, sighed, and said, Yes, I remember. With that said, he walked out the lab. And you can see Sia back there in human form there. Huh? Yeah, like, whoa. All right, let me skip a chapter. Chapter 6, Find the Star Striker. Meanwhile, at Flora and her brothers, at Flora and her foster brother's house. Let's see, just checking what time it is there. Okay. Foster brother's house. Flora waited for the map on the computer to find what she was looking for. Eventually, it did, and Flora said, "Finally!" Then she went to the kitchen saying, "Gilbert, Zach, I gotta." Flora paused with an expression of shock. As she arrived at the kitchen door, seeing Gilbert and Zach dining on boxes of fancy chocolate lead cream cookie puffs. Then, then she got so angry she ran toward them, took one of the empty boxes, and smacked both the boys' heads with it. Like, hey, what's that big idea? Yeah, smacking us like that while we're eating, said Gilbert. Maybe it's because, Flora said in an angry but calm voice, which quickly switched to an angry shouting voice, while showing the boys the box she smacked them with. You pigs were dining on my box of fancy chocolate and the cream cookie puffs like a doggone all-you-can-eat buffet! That's a, try saying that. Try saying that 10 times fast. so, so there's plenty of cookie puffs in the cabinet. Chocolate cookie puffs in the cabinet. I mean, what's the difference? Said Gilbert. Laura shouted louder. They're special, they're rare, they're better than regular chocolate cookie puffs, and they're mine, you idiots! This is this is not what I expected to see coming home. Yes, said a voice from the kitchen. Everyone looked and saw that the voice came from a tall man in a brown trench coat with matching suit pants, shoes, tie, and black shirt. However, his human body was combined with the head, claws, and tail of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. He was he was Flora Gilbert and Zach's foster dad and boss, and he called himself Rexon. As you see, she's upset about them cookie puffs. And they come to get cookie puffs. And that's Rexon. A T-Rex in the suit. Page here. I'm guessing. I noticed one keeps going in and out. I'm guessing that could be. I'm guessing that could be either Big Sis Casey, possibly. Being I know she's done that before, kind of multitasking with stuff, or it might possibly be EJ. I know he works I know he works at the library on the weekdays there, but you never know. He could be sort of. All depends there, but it's probably one of them, or it could be somebody else all entirely. But yeah, she started it, exclaimed Gilbert and Zach to Rexon. Only because they ate my boxer, Laura shouted back. It doesn't matter. The boy shouted back, almost like one of my cousins when it's like, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Y'all do it for a Scooby stand? So then Flora's anger burned up on the inside, and she smacked them again with the box really hard, knocking them out, causing lumps to form on their heads. Then Flora took a breath, calmed down, and said to Rexon, I'll explain about that later. But I found a way to get that Starman project once and for all. Flora and Rexon went back into his computer room where she showed him the map on the main computer. As you can see, started Flora, I have located where the battle suit is by placing a camouflage hairpin tracer inside the user's hair. And considering that Star Striker's hair is black, a camouflage hairpin? Yeah, that is a yeah. I think that would exactly be kind of hard to see. Clever, clever tactics, said Rexon. That's right. I imagine him. I actually imagine since Rexon is a T-Rex. I imagine him sounding like Beast Wars Megatron. Yes. Oh, yes, indeed. Eh, clever tactic indeed, said Rexon. Yes. But how will you capture him in the battle suit? Not to mention reveal to us who he really is. Flora scanned the area where the tracer's signal was coming from and said, according to the tracer's computer, it would appear that the user is not in use. It isn't in the battle suit. So if we were to attack him right now by surprise, he wouldn't be able to stop us in order to protect his secret identity. Of course, we would have to find him, so he won't. We have to find him. Of course, when we find him, he won't even know that we will know until it's too late. Impressive, Flora. Well done, said Rexon. I expect nothing better from my little flower. Yes. If you succeed in this mission, then you will be rewarded greatly. But fail, and you will be greatly punished. Understood, said Flora. Later that afternoon, Samuel and Brian had finished up their game of one-on-one basketball, and they rollerbladed over to Brian's house to check out the gadgets that he had been working on. As they were going down the road, Samuel tripped on a pothole and fell to the ground, scraping his knees, sort of like I did when I fell off my bicycle, which caused the hairpin tracer to fall out his hair. But Samuel, exclaimed Brian, stopping and going back to help him to his feet. There. But, are you okay, man? That was quite a fall. But Yeah, but my mom's gonna be upset for me for forgetting my pads and helmet, said Samuel. Well, we'll fix it up in my house. Maybe she won't notice, said, said Brian. Then he noticed the hairpin and picked it up. Wonder what girl dropped this. Hopefully a pretty girl, said Samuel. Better hope she has a pretty sister or cousin, said Brian. Then he looked closer at the hairpin and noticed a tracking computer inside. Ah, she's a computer girl. Nice. Samuel looked at Brian suspiciously and said, a computer girl? Brian showed the computer inside the hairpin and said to Samuel, she must be a genius like me to make this. Why don't we look for her after we treat your knees and checking out my stuff? One question, said Samuel. How will we find her? Ah, turn this air conditioner starting to make my nose run. There we go. Mm. Suddenly, Pumo landed in front of Samuel and Brian, hitting the ground hard enough to crack the ground and form a hole under them. Brian quickly pushed Samuel out of the way of the hole. Said, no need, no need to wait, guys," said a voice from nearby. "I'll take you to the girl you." Oh, that's right. Said, no need to wait, guys," said a voice nearby. "I'll take you to the girl you're looking for." The voice came from Racker. Samuel and Brian looked up and saw him in a nearby pine tree. He curled up in a ball and jumped down toward them. But Brian quickly took his basketball out of his sport bag and threw it at Racker, which knocked him into Pumo, making nothing like a little basketball to defeat your enemies with a slam hunk. The slam dunk, slam hunk, slam hunk. Oh boy. Then Brian quickly put the basketball back in his bag, helped Samuel onto his back. Hey, come on, Samuel, let's get out of here. Then he bladed away. You won't, you won't get away that easily, shouted Pumo as he and Racker got up, curled in the balls that rolled after Samuel and Brian. Brian looked back and noticed them gaining on him and Samuel. How can we take them? Samuel noticed a streetlight pole up ahead. Grab that pole and swing, and we'll both do a double kick. Hey, what about your knees? Asked Brian. I'll be fine, said Samuel. Well, here goes nothing. Samuel grabbed the pole and swung on it as Samuel instructed, and they both kicked Puma and Racker into a nearby cactus plant. Then Brian said, "Not bad." Puma and Racker jumped out of the cactus, running around in circles, screaming in pain from the needles they were covered in, almost like the hyenas in Lion King. They, wow, yo! There he goes. Well, go get him. There ain't no way I'm going in there. What, you want me to come out looking like you? Cactus butt? Yeah. Also, I remember this kind of reminded me of something my mom told me once after we saw the Lion King movie. When I was riding my bike across the street from us, one of our neighbors who used to live across the street from us. Well, actually, not across, but in the house next to the person across the street from us. But they had a cactus bush in their yard. My mom was like, "Is like, Gabe, don't be riding that bike so fast down the driveway, otherwise you won't be able to stop and crash right into that cactus bush." So, all right. So yeah, and she said, "Be just like them hyenas in the Lion King now." Mm. Brian and Samuel laughed until an electric net popped up, captured Brian and Samuel, and shocked them until they passed out. The net came from Flora, who was standing on the pole Brian had swung around. Then Flora slid down the pole, noticed Puma and Racker running smack into each other and falling out. "I am surrounded by idiots," she said, taking out her scanner. and scanning Brian and Samuel with it. The scanner lit up the word "found" when she scanned Brian because he picked up that pin, the hairpin. But so you changed your hair so I wouldn't find you. Then she removed the net and said to Puma and Racker, who had just gotten up, "Grab this one and let's jet." Then she tossed Brian to Puma and flew off on her jetpack. Puma caught Brian and just as he and Racker flew off on their jetpacks, Samuel became conscious and saw them, took Brian's basketball and threw it at them. The ball hit Racker's jetpack, knocking it offline, which caused him to crash back into the cactus plant again. Puma turned around to aid Racker as he jumped up screaming like crazy. That thing making me think of the hyenas with the cactus needles. But give me a moment. But Flora motioned for him to come, saying, "Leave him. That kid can't stop us even if Racker does spill the beans. We've got the Starman project right here." With that, Flora and Puma flew off. Can't believe I can't believe they ditched me like that, said Racker, after getting the needles off of him. Samuel grabbed Racker by his shirt and whammed him against a streetlight pole in a very firm and angry voice. Tell me where did they take him? Or I will shove you back in that cactus plant until you tell me." They sure like to use the cactus plant a lot. "I don't think so," said Racker, as he wrapped his tail around one of Samuel's scarred knees, squeezing him until Samuel let go. And Racker punched Samuel into the ground and said, "You're pretty tough, buddy, but not tough enough." Just as Racker was about to grab Samuel, Samuel quickly grabbed the nearby rock on the ground, threw it at Racker, knocking him out cold. And then Racker changed back to his human form as Zack. Samuel then contacted Lee on his Star Watch, saying, "Dad, meet me at the headquarters." That's them flying off with Brian there. Ooh, boy. It's quite a read, yeah. Chapter 7, Solving the Case. Brian woke up finding himself tied up in chains to a tree in the woods by Cattle Lake. Flora and Rexon approached him. "Whoa," said Brian, as in shock and Rexon. "I never thought I'd see a Tyrannosaurus in a suit." "Well, if you want to see anything else in your bratty little life," said Rexon, "then tell us where you hit the Starman project." "Yes." "Starman project?" asked Brian, confused. "What are you talking about?" Rexon got up in Brian's face and shouted, "Don't play dumb with me, kid. You know very well what I'm talking about. Now answer me." As Rexon was talking, spit came out of his mouth at Brian, and Brian coughed a bit. He coughed a bit and said, also, I'm getting a whiff of Rexon's stinky breath, and shouted back, "I don't know what that is. And would it seriously kill? And would it kill you to eat a pack of breath mints? Seriously, man, your breath smells like smells like pickle juice and dog poop. Ugh, that's a gross combination there." Yeah, that's even worse than the nightmare I had, where one of the girls from my school tackled me and was breathing stinky Cheeto breath in my face. "Sir," "Sir," said Flora, tapping on Rexon's shoulder. He turned around facing Flora as he could as she continued. Let me try it alone. Rexon thought for a moment. And sighed, said, "Very well, my tiny little Flora." They slept my tiny little Flora. Oh yeah. It's almost off my plate. Oh yeah. Try it alone. Okay, my tiny little Flora. But don't take too long. Don't worry. Meanwhile, at the BTB agency, Lee interrogated Zach for information on where Brian was being held hostage and why. "I ain't telling you nothing, cue ball," said Zach. "Listen, young man," said Lee firmly. "We can do this the easy way or the hard way." And of course, yeah, he like, "I don't care. Do your worst." "Well, I prefer the hard way," said Zach. Then Zach, oh yeah, then Zach jumped Lee, but Lee quickly knocked him onto the floor. Then Lee said, "Trust me, kid, the hard way is not the way you want to go with me." "Well, you think I'm scared of you, old man?" said Zach, getting up. "Let's get I'm afraid of you." Then Zach tried to punch and kick Lee, but Lee dodged each one. Eventually, he grabbed one of Zach's legs and slammed him into a wall, holding upside down, and said, "Now, how about it now?" "Go ahead, buddy," said Zach, coughing a bit from the blood rushing through his head. "My folks already got Star Striker anyway, so there's nothing you can do about it." Zach coughed some more and laughed as Lee turned him right side up again, and back and dropped him on the floor. Kurt analyzed like, "Come pick up the kid for analysis." So Lee sent his communicator, and then after Kurt entered to take Zach to the lab, Lee went into the control room where Samuel was waiting. "Oh, and by the way, to our person in here, make sure you definitely give a like there. Definitely give a like and let YouTube know we doing good." Getting his place. After that, Samuel was waiting, getting his knees bandaged up. "What do you say? Well, what did you find out?" asked Samuel. Lee sighed and said, "Apparently, the reason Brian was taken is because whoever this kid is working with thinks Brian is a Starman project." "Wait, how would he know? How would he know that?" "Got me," said Lisa. Then he then Agent Lee looked at Samuel suspiciously. "No, you two haven't been discussing the Starman project with us recently, have you?" "No, no. Samuel, this is exactly the thing I told you about this morning." Hey, look, I didn't tell Brian I was Star Striker. I even kept my, I even kept, I didn't tell, oh yes, yeah, try to get through this, yeah. I didn't, okay, oh yeah, okay. "Hey, look, I didn't tell Brian I was Star Striker, and even if I did, why was he captain instead of me?" Lee thought for a minute, and so did Samuel. Samuel thought back to his fight earlier with Racker when they and I actually rewrote the scene again there. So you see, consider yourself lucky. Okay. And then they remember about Flora's hairpin tracer. It's a closer look at that. So I'm just gonna skip the flashback scene there to get through this here. Okay. Samuel exclaimed Brian. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, still part of that flashback. Okay. The flashback ended as Samuel said to Lee, I think I know how they captured Brian. And now, locating Brian. You can see there's a cupcake and some little cookie puffs. Flora took Brian inside her house and baked him some tasty treats. But fancy like, hey, some tasty but fancy like strawberry cupcakes, vanilla creme brulee from her easy bake oven. Also, she added an uneaten box of fancy chocolate lake cream puffs, hey, cookie puffs. Brian was captivated by her sweet treats laid out on the table in front of him, and at that time, confused with the kind gestures. Is all that for me? Asked Brian. Flora giggled and got real close to Brian. They batting her eyes. They felt like, oh yeah, batting her eyes there even more and said, "Why, of course, you silly little cutie pie." Brian blushed a bit and said nervously, okay, thanks." Flora, say, Flora, like a beautiful flower that lands in that soft hair of yours, she said, running her fingers through Brian's hair slowly and delicately. "So what's your name?" Brian started to feel slightly relaxed. Brian Robertson. "Well, Brian, sweetie, we better start enjoying these delicious hors d'oeuvres." And then Brian snapped to attention and exclaimed, "Wait a second! First, my buddy and I get attacked by some sumo pig and a rat boy. Then your stinky breath Tyrannosaurus guy is all in my face. Now you bake me all of this and expect me to eat it and forget like nothing ever happened? What did you do? Put poison in this stuff?" Mm. Flora took a bite of the cupcakes and said, "Now, why would I do that?" She held another cupcake up for Brian to take a bite. "Do you think you still think it's all poison?" And of course, there's a picture there. And to be honest, even yeah, yeah, that like cookie puff there. And of course, a later picture, Sam and his dad there. Miss Flora took meanwhile at the BTB agency headquarters in the control room, Samuel told Lee about the hairpin. "So let me get this straight," started Lee. "You were both knocked unconscious by the laser blaster when you later started to come to and noticed the hairpin being placed in your hair. Then it fell out. When you tripped on your rollerblades, Brian saw it. Samuel showed it to you. Then later, the boys showed up, attacked, and afterwards captured Brian, thinking he had the Project Starman." "Oh no." "Correct," said Samuel. Lee sighed in frustration and said, "I told your mother. I told you, I told your mother that letting your hair grow out like that was a bad idea, but she wouldn't listen to me. But she's too busy telling her friends how cute it looked on you." Samuel placed his hands on his hair and exclaimed, "Hey, I'll remember it. I'll try to remember it next time. No need to cut it." Uh, "Don't worry about that now, son," said Lee, sitting at the main computer. "Since the hairpin was a tracer, I'm going to use the computer's hyper hacking program to scan all the computers in the Shreveport area and bring up and and bringing up all their data. After a while of scanning, the computer eventually brought up a file on a man named Devon Carter. And this is Devon Carter here. He's actually secretly Rex's son there. Who is he? Asked Samuel. Lee then read. Lee then read his file on him and said to Samuel, he was a surgeon in Casper, Wyoming. However, after only a few practices, he was under arrest for endangering the endanger. Oh, that's right. Okay. Then so Lee read the file on. Lee read the file on him to Samuel. He was a surgeon in Casper, Wyoming. However, after only a few years of practice, he was under arrest for endangering a child in an open heart surgery. Oh boy! And he escaped the local authorities, and no one's heard from him at all. Then a year later, Devon was found in Hot Springs, Arkansas, by the police. They caught him and put him in prison for using children to perform robberies and other crimes. Almost kind of make me think of the Penguin from the Batman using birds for crimes, and also those Kabuki sisters of his. Samuel thought and said, "What if he's excuse me? What if he's using those kids to attack the burger port and also Brian and I?" It has to be, said Lee. According to the computer's analysis, that computer hairpin was made by him. So since those kids are taking that splicing serum, it can only mean that Anthony Westwood is helping him. Then Lee had the computer search for where the headband was. The hairpin was, sorry. Checking my time still. Okay. Burger Port. It has to be. Area found, said the computer. Address 5976 Lagoon Drive in Shreveport, Louisiana. Lee got up and headed to the door. All right, Samuel, let's move out. Wait! The heck, said Samuel. I know we can get some more equipment for our mission. But what? Lee said, looking suspiciously. We're going to have to tell Brian and his family everything, including that I'm Star Striker. No, son, said Lee. But Dad! Samuel Lee Princeton, you listen to me. Brian's already in danger because of the misunderstanding in the situation. Do you really want to cause more danger by holding him responsible for keeping all this a secret? Well, if that's the case of his experiment, we won't be if that's the case, his equipment won't be any use to us at all. What are you talking about? Brian's builds special gadgets, similar to what we use here at headquarters, and for the battle suits. And the supplies come from his parents' lab. So he said he wants to be a partner for Star Striker as well. Samuel paused and continued. I know we can't expose my identity to everyone, but don't you think we can make an exception in this case? Two heads are better than one. About to get to target here. A surprising rescue, Chapter 9. Brian started to feel relaxed as Flora fed him all different sweets that she put together, played games, and even watched a movie. After the movie, they all began to talk a bit in the living room. Flora continued using her sweet, charming voice. So what's up with the Tyrannosaurus? So what's up with the Tyrannosaurus Rex guy? Asked Brian. He's my foster dad, said Flora. Whoa, how can a girl like you have a daddy like that? Said Brian. Well, when he wants something really bad, he gets it. He gets that way. So what's up with the Starman project he kept asking me about? He wants to use your battle suit as Star Striker. Oh, you said wants to use a battle suit as Star Striker. What, me? Star Striker? I understand your identity has to be kept a secret, but don't worry, I won't tell. Brian laughed. I don't know who you think you're like. So, like, you're telling me this whole thing is because, say, it's because you think I'm. Hmm, I almost thought somebody was coming in the door. Because you think I'm Star Striker. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm not the one you're looking for. That does it, said Rexon coming in. Playtime is over. Dad, not yet. You had your chance and your fun. Rexon shoved Flora out the way. Hey, don't shove her like that, said Brian, getting in front of Rexon. Rexon then picked up Brian by his shirt and said angrily, Tell us where you hid the Starman project now, or I'll claw the answer out of you. I already told you I don't know. Have it your way, said Rexon, raising his hand to slash Brian. Hey, Devon Carson, shouted the voice. This is the police. We have you. We have your place surrounded. Devon Carter was Rexon's original name, and he was in shock. How did the police find me here? Then Rexon thought, looked at Brian, and squeezed his neck, choking him, and said, You did this, you. Like, choking him and said, You did this so I wouldn't get the Starman project. So then Rexon threw him into a nearby coffee table, causing it to break. After that, Rexon tossed Flora a laser blaster and called for Pumo and said, Pumo, say, Flora, make sure those boys don't escape. I'll deal with the cops. Right. Rexon stormed outside the front door, but he didn't make any plans to say, oh, that's right. They get the Starman project. They, when he didn't see any police at all, he stepped out further and looked around and said, If this is a joke, I'm not amused. Well, the joke's on you, said a voice. Rexon looked around. Up here. Rexon looked up on the roof where the voice was coming from. It was Star Striker. Rexon saw him on the roof and saw it was Star Striker with a bullhorn making his voice sound like a cop. Rexon was shocked, angry, and said, That's impossible! We just captured you! You're not the only one who can make a quick getaway, said Star. No, said Star as he threw Brian's capture rings at Rexon. Hey, yo, Rexon. Once the ring captured Rexon, it gave him an electric shock, making him scream loudly as it paralyzed him. After that, he blacked out and fell to the ground. Puma and Raka heard Rexon. Puma grabbed Brian and ran out with Flora quickly to aid Rexon. Then Star Striker threw star spinners that exploded, causing the ground under them and Rexon to break apart, forming a hole that they all fell in. However, Star quickly flew down and caught Brian and flew into the house. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Star, said Brian. Yeah, my pleasure. Say, no problem. Said Star, I got something for you. He took out a special target ring disc from his utility pants. And from his utility pants, what's this for? Asked Brian. You're going to help me fight against those guys, said Star, as my partner. You're serious? Yep, this is the target transformation disc, which will change you into your special battle suit equipped with all your gadgets. Brian took the target disc and exclaimed, Whoa! Wait till Samuel hears about this. How about that? Star pressed the button on his Star Watch and went through the Star D transformation and became Samuel. Brian was shocked. Like, whoa, you were you were Star Striker the whole time? Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't tell you before. But I was going to tell you earlier, but my dad didn't think it was a good idea until now. Brian thought for a moment. Hey, don't sweat it, man. We're just a couple of old superheroes following the identity code. That is true. Say the identity of a secret identity, that is. At least now I know, and we're about to be a superhero duo. And let's kick some bad guy butt, exclaimed Samuel. Then he sent into Star Watch Star Transformation activate. Then once the watch opened, he pressed the button to go through the transformation. And then Brian looked at target this and then asked, "How do you work this?" Then started explaining to Brian about the star disc. I mean the target disc. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong. Then, and that. Oh yeah, and then this picture, of course, revealing himself to Brian. Ooh, getting a little like stomach grumbling there. Chapter 10. Enter target. Flora, Pumo, and Rexon flew out the hole using their jetpacks and raced inside the house. After looking around for a while, Rexon slapped Pumo into the floor with his tail. You two have failed me greatly, he exclaimed. First of all, you were easily defeated by this kid who used the Starman project. Secondly, when you managed to capture him, you ended up catching the wrong one. And finally, because of those two first mistakes, that kid has escaped. Actually, said Star coming from downstairs, I'm right here, fossil face. Rexon growled and said to Pumo and Flora, if you wish to redeem yourself, then get that kid in the Starman Project now. Ahem, said Star. The name is Star Striker, and I strike like a star. Then Star blasted him. So he started say, oh yeah, then where did that? Oh yeah, right here, Fox. Okay. Then Star blasted Rexon out of the house with his star laser. As Pumo and Flora started their battle with Star, Rexon noticed a red light from the attic window and said to himself, it would appear our hero is not alone. Yes. Make sure you definitely like while you're here. Then Rexon used his jetpack to fly up toward the attic, breaking through the window and looking around. Looking for me? Asked the voice. Who's there? Suddenly, he was knocked unconscious by a wolf, by the wolf, into the wolf by the target boomer, and one that exploded once it hit the floor in front of him. Then, when he looked up and saw where the target boomer and the voice came from, it was Brian, but he was wearing a battle suit similar to Star's, but the appearance on it was different. It was black all over with a red target symbol on his shirt, gloves, and belt belt center. It also came with a red cape and a mask. And Brian then took the new name for his identity, saying, the name's Target. I'm right on target. Is that so, kid? Said Rexon, getting up. Well, Target, prepare to be terminated. Yeah. Yes. And Rexon took out two laser blasters. One of them started fire. Two laser blasters started firing at Target. Target quickly deflected the other lasers. To turn the other lasers. took out the other lasers, firing them at Target. The Target quickly held up his hand and made a target shield out of the target symbol on his hand. They kind of like that's that biotech he got in his suit, which shielded off the laser blast. The shields can't hold forever, said Rexon. It doesn't have to. Target says he fired the shield at Rexon and knocked the blasters out of his hand, almost like Cap shield. That's Target right up there. Oh! Ooh. Clever. Quite clever. Yes. Then Target and Rexon began the battle. Meanwhile, downstairs in the living room, Puma got into a ball shape and rolled after Star. Eventually, Star flew up and said, "You can't catch me up here." But I can, said Flora, blasting Star into the kitchen with a laser blaster. Then she used the net launcher to fire out an electric net at Star, which captured him. Then after Puma and her entered the kitchen, she said, "Well, at least say, oh, that's right. After Puma entered the kitchen, she said, at least this time we got the right one." Star tried to fly out using his star boots, but the net shocked him worse than the last time and damaged his suit's computer system. Flora and Puma laughed. "It's over, Star Striker. Too bad I have to destroy a cutie like you, but I will." Then Flora took out another hairpin tracer, hit the button, and a large plasma excuse me. I'm trying to say plasma cannon. Yeah, make sure I was reading that right. Was teleported right in front of her. She aimed it at Star and said, "Goodbye, sweetie." Then Rexon crashed through the ceiling into the kitchen, landed between the cannon and Star. Flora and Puma looked up at the hole in the ceiling formed by the crash and saw Target fly in. "Goodbye," said Target. "Why leave so soon? The party's just getting started." Like a line from Flame Dramon. Then Target fired another target boomer at the plasma cannon, blowing it up, causing Flora and Puma to crash into the wall as well. Then Target took out a target cutter and ends up cutting the target cutter, and to cut the electric net and get Star out, and said, "Are you okay, man?" Star groaned a bit from the electricity that shocked him. But, "Yeah, I think so." Like, "Hold it right there, you two," said Flora, shouting, while Puma and her were both holding a laser blaster aimed at Star and Target. Then, in a rather demanding voice and everything, Flora says, "Surrender both of your battle suits now, and one false move, and you're doomed." "Forget it," said Target. "So be it." But it was, so be it. Rexon knew what Target was planning and shouted, "Wait, you fools!" But it was too late. The laser blasters were fired, and Target quickly fired a target shield to block the blast and knock the laser blasters out of their hands. However, both of them continued firing at the roof, eventually causing the house to start caving in. Rexon quickly fled out of the kitchen into the living room. "Dad, wait for us!" said Puma and Flora, running after him. Just then, the ceiling in the living room completely came down as Rexon. Before Flora came down on Rexon, before Flora and Puma couldn't get out. say, oh yeah, say, cause you got target through another target boomer and Star Striker. Say, do you say, oh yeah, say fire, yeah, we put another target boomer at the wall, say away from the living room entrance and exploded, making an exit hole out to the outside. This way, guys, said Target, picking up Star. Say, it's the only way out. Like we're gonna listen to you, you goody two shoes, said Puma, getting into a ball. He quickly rolled into Star and Target, knocking them out of the house. And then he said, suckers were expecting us to fall for the trap. Guess we showed them. Then some of the rubbish fell to the center of they actually fell in front of them, like pretty much to the as they say, the center of, well, not the center of it, well, not quite that much there. So so some of the rubbish fell in front of the exit hole Target had made, trapping Puma and Racker inside. Flora grabbed Puma by his neck and screamed in his face, "You stupid pig! Now this house will cave in on us thanks to you!" With that, the house caved in completely. "Come on, Star," said Target. "They may be bad guys and all, but we can't just leave them like that." Right. The two dug through the rubbish as quickly as they could until they found out Flora and Puma. They found Flora and Puma, who had just changed back to Gilbert. Star checked them and noticed they were still breathing, but unconscious, and said to Target, "These two seem okay. Let's see what we can find. Let's see if we can find." Just then, the earth shook, and just in the earth shook. Oh yeah, change. Oh yeah, the earth shook. Say, and from under the rubbish, roaring loudly like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Rexon bust free. He's up. He's okay, but he doesn't look too happy," said Target. Rexon ripped off his clothes as he began growing up in height, and his whole body changing into that of a Tyrannosaurus. Mm, yeah. Then Rexon ripped off his clothes and began growing in height, and his whole body changing into that of a Tyrannosaurus Rex over 15 feet tall. Whoa. "This is just like with Sia," said Star. Rexon laughed evilly. "Time to stomp you, you little roaches." Yes. There's a picture of him in his full T-Rex form there. Mhm. And the dynamic showdown. Rexon raised his foot up and stomped on the ground really hard, causing a small earthquake to form a hole under Star, Target, Gilbert, and Zack. As they were falling, Target quickly grabbed Flora, while Star grabbed Gilbert, and the duo placed them on their backs. When Star started to fly up a little bit, he noticed Star's boots were malfunctioning due to the electric net from earlier. So Target flew back down, grabbed Star, and placed a target saucer under Star to help him fly up. Rexon looked in frustration as Star and Target flew out of the hole. Then Target asked Rexon, "Hey, don't you care about your comrades we're holding here?" Rexon laughed evilly. "You foolish children. Those pathetic rats are nothing but pawns to lead me to you." Yes. So just like Megatron when Dinobot held up Terror Saucer. "Don't fire! I have a hostage." "Oh, so you do." Actually, he was holding up tarantulas, yeah. So, Rexon laughed evilly and said, "Oh, well, pawn this," said Target, firing his target boomer at Rexon. The boomer quickly hit, the boomer hit Rexon and exploded. But when the smoke cleared, it was revealed that it didn't have any effect on him. Target threw a target cutter at Rexon, which attached around his neck and shocked him. I got an idea, Star, said Target. You get both of these guys to a safe spot, and I'll handle this guy. Got it, said Star as Target handed him Floor. Star flew off with her and Gilbert. Eventually, Rexon broke the target catcher and charged at Star, but he flew up, avoiding the attack, and quickly fired rapid target boomers at the ground toward Rexon. Your aiming is poor, said Rexon. Actually, started Target, as the multiple explosions of the target boomers caused the ground under Rexon to, to collapse and form a hole. It's right on target. Rexon fell into the hole, and Target quickly fired more target boomers around the ground to make some rubbish fall down and cave in on Rexon. Just like Star Striker defeated Seal with that move, said Target, by landing in by landing landing by the hole. I've done the same to you, fossil breath. But just then Rexon busted free of the rubbish and jumped out of the hole, saying, well, unlike that snake Sia, I'm not so easily defeated, you little ring brat. Just as he started to land toward Target, Target quickly flew to the other side of the hole, fired more target boomers toward the other side, and flew away to make the hole bigger, and said, nothing a bigger hole won't solve. Rexon fell back in the hole, hitting an underground water pipe. The impact of Rexon's fall caused the pipe to bust, and a stream of water shot out from in front of him, giving him an idea. Give up yet? Asked Target. Rexon chuckled evilly. I think not, you little bullseye. As a matter of fact, I think it's time for me to wash away my troubles. Rexon placed his toe on the water. On the water break, causing it to fire directly in Target's face, temporarily blinding him. During his blindness, Rexon quickly jumped up in the air and grabbed Target in his mouth and landed outside the hole and said, in his clenching teeth, a ring rat and his brother suit is not like hurt me, actually. But I just can't be choosing. Yes. And that's a image right there. trying to keep from getting eaten there. Target struggled to keep Rexon from biting him by using his legs and feet to keep his mouth open, and said, well, Scale Breath, perhaps you should read the contents of the foods you eat before you eat them. Then Target took a target cutter, stabbed the roof of Rexon's mouth with it. Ouch! They causing him to roar in pain and release Target. Target quickly flew out and fired a target catcher, causing it to attach around Rexon's tongue, severely shocking him. Then Target fired two more target cutters around Rexon's legs. The triple shock impact made Rexon fall back into the hole, causing more of the water pipes to burst and spray him, causing a pain of the electric shock to increase highly. He roared in pain louder as the electricity and the water combined, caused his skeleton to flash like an X-ray on and off. After a while, the shocking stopped, and Rexon fainted, changing back into his human form as Devon Carter. Target got on his communicator and said to Star, yo, Star, the dino is now officially extinct. Yep. And there's one last chapter, but it's basically just explaining about Target's gadgets and stuff, just like how I did with Star earlier. So I'm just going to show you the pictures for this one there. Yeah, you got the Target ring, the little boomers, and also the saucer that he flies on and stuff. Uh, Shows how he's flying on it there, and even the target cutter. And then of course his transformation is actually let's see, like a normal shootout. Matter of fact, he had a watch just like Star, but it shoots out a transformation disc and allows him to transform into Target, of course. Yep, and I can say even some additional weapons like a Target bow with arrows, and then some additional stuff with Star Striker like his Star Sword and shield, and a saucer for him as well. Okay. Because sometimes you need that saucer if something happens to your jet boots, and they're gonna be working back to back. And also, it's revealed that Target's parents are over an agency too called the Hunters Agency. So both the Hunters, so after they captured the villains and everything, both the Hunters Agency and the BTB agency are now joined forces. Brian's parents are named Derek and Deborah Robinson. Say so. Yeah, now we got two agencies working together, as well as two heroes back to back. And yep, Star and Target. Woo, so that was quite a bit there, and I got through it there. Like I said, had to maximize my excitement to override because, like I said, it was like I said, I was up last night reading the first book. Then I had to get up real early, see Christina off to work. And after I did that, I had was a few things I had to take care of before starting this stream here. So, oh yeah, it's quite a bit. Then, so now grab me got a couple of hours. I'm gonna grab me a little bite to eat before I go into work. I have to be there at 12 o'clock. So grab me a little small, just a little small something to eat there. I'm a little hungry. Gone to work and yep, and then I'll be able to relax when I come home there since I done my stream this morning. Able to relax before going to bed tomorrow night. I don't have to, at least I want to be up as early tomorrow morning as I was this morning. So as I say, that'll be a little bit that'll kind of be a little more relaxing there. And not only that, like I said before, Thursday I'm still gonna do a premiere instead of a live stream there. That way I kind of get some rest between tonight and tomorrow morning. And when I come home from work tomorrow night, there, yes, 8:30. That's when it's gonna premiere automatically, already pre-recorded. Gonna be a little something, probably a little something special. Yep, and so yeah, you'll be seeing that there Thursday evening, and then we're just, as I say, we're really gonna hit the snooze button Thursday, and say after, kind of be up, and say after, do a few things, me and wifey there, and as I say, sleep for a little bit, and then be Friday will be try to get her rough drafts, and also my mom can look it over there. That was can kind of start. No, we'll probably take a. I know it's going to take more than one day, obviously, but yeah, we'll get it to her Friday. Maybe possibly a few other things, but yeah. So yeah, pretty much that. And like I say, maybe I might be streaming Saturday. I'm not sure yet. It all depends. Depends on how things go Friday leading into Saturday. So yeah, but like I say, it's a maybe Saturday. So like I say, well, we will see. But if I do, it'll probably be the third Heroes of Dream book. But if not, then we'll be live streaming again next week. But if I don't live stream Saturday, I'll probably I might put up might premiere another video for you guys there to enjoy. And with all that said, we will see y'all in, oh my goodness, the next video. That's what happens when you try to do a live stream sleepover back to back. Yeah, it can be a little tiring there. So, but like I say, we're gonna get some rest. So we'll be a little bit better in the next streams there that we do. Like I say, if not Saturday, well, we'll make sure I'll make sure I'm rested up for next week there. So until then, we'll see you guys later, and also definitely like, share, subscribe, get our available books, and also be sure you definitely support us on that Patreon. Just like Iceman Universe, be sure to check out some of his stuff and support him too. And also support the Miracle Crew, Big Sis Casey, Queen Tina, and EJ the Supreme. And just like you're hanging out with here on this live stream, make sure you definitely give a like. Definitely also hang out with us on Facebook and Discord. And we'll sell each other some stuff on that McCary app. I got some few stuff coming in from the McCary app that I ordered. Along with the air conditioners I ordered there. No, I didn't order the air conditioner from McCary. I ordered them from Walmart. But from the McCary app, I did order a few things. One of them I had to order from another site there. But but let's just say you'll find out what they are in some new toy reviews coming up soon. So yeah, like I say, it'll be coming. And like I say, so we sell each other stuff on that McCary app, and we will see y'all in the next video that will be premiering Thursday night at 8:30. Y'all take care, everybody.